Aloha! Hey, it's Julie Ziemelis, 365 Hawaii and 365 Hawaii Group, Keller Williams, Big Island, and I am here with the interminable Lance Owens from LUVA Real Estate. And as we say every month, top leadership at the Hawaii Association of Realtors.
Thank you.
We are very happy to have you here today. It'll be interesting to see what is going on with the West Hawaii real estate market. First of all, though, you got to pop your drink there.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Today,
our cameraman just did.
today we are...
Doing Kona Brewery.
We're doing Kona Brew, you guys.
Okay.
And there went beer all of them, I think.
Okay.
But this is one of my favorites, Lava Man.
Lava Man.
Lava Man.
Liquid Aloha.
And a little education here. We may have done this before, but if you get your can with the 3 rings on it there,
Yeah.
that was brewed here in Kailua Kona.
Oh, that's how they're
Brewed
doing
and
it now?
canned in here
Oh,
in
very
Kailua
cool.
Kona.
Okay.
So, and they even, I think, put a little spot on, yep, made in Kona, Hawaii.
Yay!
On the ones here. So, come here to get these. I don't think you can get these ones on the mainland anymore.
There we go.
They did that split off of the buyout.
Because they wanted to
right?
make sure that people knew that they were actually buying local.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I'm thirsty.
Okay.
We're 20 minutes late, so I got very thirsty waiting to open this.
People on YouTube don't. They're like, oh, what? Like all people over here in Facebook land are like this. We've been waiting with bated breath to hear what's happening with the market. But what we will tell you, though, what happened this week was we have a volcanic eruption. It started about a day and a half ago at Kilauea, and Eric and I actually went and we saw the eruption last night.
Of course they did.
We have to run into things. And I know.
I don't know why they weren't there yesterday morning at 7 a.m., but...
Things you do, man. But yes, you guys can always count on us for not just helping you guys get the real estate news, but also the weather news, natural events, and what's happening around Kona. So let's get going with what's happening with the market, and then we can talk about the impact of the volcano afterwards.
Okay. And does anybody watch Howard Dykes here on the morning news? I didn't actually draw this, but I think this sums up what's happening in the market right now.
Up and down, and now it's up.
Up. So that was December, I think, right around there, January, December, and we're on the way back up. So like we said before, if you're waiting for the market to go down, look in your rearview mirror.
You missed it.
Behind you.
Yep. And we were talking about that in January, February, too,
Yeah.
when the prices were going down a little bit and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we felt it was going to be different. So I'm doing a different way today, you guys. You guys usually see me with several sheets, and I'm fumbling through them. We're going to try a different way. So if I stumble and don't
it won't
get
be
me
as
off
long.
track- yeah, it won't be as long, hopefully. So jumping real quick we're going to jump into single-family homes and what's happening on them right now. So days on the market went from... right now, the days on the market, the average is 53 days on the market. The median was 15 days on the market.
Wow.
So, that's some...
It's fast.
It's going fast.
It's a quick moving market, yeah.
I'm going to just jump into... We wrote an offer on a property a few days ago, and it's right here in Kailua Kona, and they ended up with 6 or 7 offers by the end of the time.
Wow.
So...
was it underpriced, like crazy underpriced to begin with?
No.
Was it under $800,000?
It was just under $1 million.
Okay.
It was just under $1 million,
And 6 offers, huh?
6 offers. I think 3 came before it even came off a preview. So it was a quick, fast-moving market, and that's one reason you want to have somebody like Julie, like myself, like part of her group that are here on the ground that can actually look at what's in preview too.
Yeah.
Because Zillow and those things don't show up preview, and we can't even put that in there to send it to you under preview unless we manually do it every time. So.
Right, and preview is, tell them.
Coming soon, basically, you might think of another market.
Yeah.
So it's something coming out. It's only out to the realtors, and that's it.
Yeah. In fact, this is how we found our house, through preview.
So
we're sitting right here because we were one of the first
There you
people.
go.
We still were involved in a multiple offer situation, however, and didn't get a dime big off or anything, but at least we knew about it. So, okay, what else you got?
All right, so we got...
Oh, hang on. Brad's got to poke Lance for just a second here.
What?
This is Brad. Brad says, aloha, Julie, Eric, and Lance. I'm here to see how Lance is going to match yesterday's great East Hawaii update.
Oh, man, stop it, because I know I'm not going to. How do you beat these two sitting at the volcano Filming live. It's not going to happen. Sorry. You can just turn off your TV right now.
Yeah.
And just be
No,
done.
we live in Kona.
Yeah. I have work to do. I just can't go play like everybody else. So,
I know we got to mix up the background, because actually it's greener on that side, you guys. We also though have sadly a little bit of grayish foggy fog in the air.
We're going to talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so really quick. So we had median price.
Now it's even more.
1.387 million is the median price. That's up 18% off of last year. Last year it was 1.1. So we've had an 18% increase year over year on median price. So that surprised me. I really expected us to start slowing down a little bit, but or at least maintaining. I think wasn't last month 1.2 something.
Well, I've seen a lot of $2 million homes on the market.
Yeah,
And I have hardly seen anything under 900.
I saw. I remember I used to live in Kamani Trees. You know, I bought it for 220. I sold it for 450. When it got to 550, I thought it was insane. I saw one close at 775.
Oh my gosh! For a little house, yeah.
Yeah, it's like 1,000 square feet on a 5,000 square foot parcel. So, and it was middle of the road. It wasn't even the killer views. So,
Wow.
yeah. So.
I mean, after you do your thing, I'm gonna have you talk about glimmers of hope for
Glimmers of
people,
hope.
people out there to try and find a
Okay.
house under $1 million. So,
Oh, you should have warned me on that one.
okay, let's see what else.
All right, so sale price to original list price was 93% of them, so that's a big skip.
Yeah, some
We
people
were
are
at
making deals.
98% before, so some people are getting some deals. And to the current list price was 95%. So there are deals we had. Just because you see the sticker price on it doesn't mean that you're paying sticker. So that's very, very interesting.
Unless you're in a multiple bid situation with 6
you're
other
in
people.
6 offers.
So
Yeah,
that's kind of
six
like a-
bid. It's crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
That was probably for the ones that were on the market 53 days, were the ones that maybe had the price decreased. Type
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah.
So that's a big thing. Active listings, there's only 78 right now. We're less than half of where we should be in a normal market. New listings, they don't break it down for the actual zone, so I have to use island-wide on this one. Last year, there was 322 new listings. This year, there was 248 new listings. So we're down 23% in new listings compared to down 35% in the amount of sales from last year to this year. So, and that's been running consistent. We've been around that number, I think, for a while now, close to there. The sold listings are off more than the new listings are.
Yeah.
It's not equal, but it's still, I mean, it's holding strong. The prices are going up. Sold listings, we went from 53 sold listings last year to 34 sold listings this year.
Right. So, okay, so what basically the economy is basically saying, once people got in, they don't want to leave. They're not selling their house. The houses that are on for sale are being swapped up by buyers who are desperately trying to figure out how they can live in West Hawaii. And they're willing to throw some extra cash if it looks like it's a good deal at a good price.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, if you're not having a good deal, good price, it's sitting on the market for a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And then people go in there and lowball the offer, but not that much.
Well, they're lowballing it, but they're not.
What, 5%?
Yeah. Well, they're probably lowballing it lower than that and realizing reality.
Yeah.
Because that's what it actually sold at. So.
Yeah.
So I have seen some lowball prices come in on some of our stuff. So,
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
Okay.
You know, we're looking at 35% there. So we will jump over now to condominiums.
Yeah, what's happening there?
Condominium average days on the market 54 days. That actually matches the island-wide average days on the market. Median days on the market's 39 days. Median price is, last year it was $522 at this time. It's $550 today. So that's a 5% increase over last year in price. Far cry from 18% on homes, but it is still up there.
Yeah.
So sales price on them are 95% is the average on that. And active listings, we only have 34. Anybody that's been watching us for any amount of time, it should be a 134.
Yeah.
Actually pulled up 2019 and it was 98 or something like that, but it goes up to 2 something to 300. If you jump, next time I'm going to have a median in the last 10 years. How many,
That's
how
a
many
good one.
homes should be on the market? I'll try and shoot for that. We're looking at 5% there. Active listings, I think I said 34. New listings are down 28% when it comes to condos.
Yeah.
And sold listings are down 15%. So we sold 37 this month, 44 last year.
Wow. So okay.
Yeah.
So
when I
like,
say this month, I mean May. Yeah.
So people who might be watching this, who are sitting on condos and are considering getting out at this point, is it a good market because there's so few listings on the market and therefore they'll get?
It's a good market if everything's right. You know, I just saw a listing that I was really surprised that compared to other things that were in that area or even in that complex, it went for, I was surprised at the amount. It was 3 days in the market and it's contingent already when the price seemed to be
Competitive.
No, at the very top of anything, I thought, you know, for where the unit's located in the complex and things like that. So
there
I've
we
gotten
go.
careful about giving away too much, you know, because I've offended other agents.
I've offended other agents as well.
Yeah, so that happens. So I try to be a little bit more cautious with what I say publicly, but it was very surprising. I thought it was over the top of where it should have been.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So for people out there who are watching the show and are thinking about selling their condos, now might be a good time to make that happen, right?
Yeah.
So Lance is an excellent condo seller, and Eric loves to sell a good condo as well. I like to take a good listing. Listen and sell and buy. We can probably find everybody for you. So then
It's funny because they're only down 15% on the amount of solds, and they're down 28% on the amount of listings. So it's not even a prettier picture. It's a picture appears to be getting uglier if you're looking to buy a condo.
Yeah.
It's hard to come in and only have 34 options.
Yeah.
And there's no price thing on there. Some of these are 4 and 5 million.
Oh.
You know, I've always done my report for just the area of 3-7 for those of you that don't know what that means. 3 means the Big Island, 7 means North Kona.
Yeah.
So we search by that area.
So this is for Kona North. This is
North
just
Kona.
for North Kona, 34,
Yeah.
right? Because I know that there's multi-million-dollar condos up on the coast in the Waikoloa Resort
Right,
area.
right. It does this includes more the ones in right by the airport there. I'm drawing
Palisades.
blank. No,
the
the gated community on the beach there.
Hawaii.
Nope.
No.
Those two, but
Kohaniki?
Thank
Kohaniki.
you.
There you go.
Getting old. This sucks.
That's not real property. that property is like they go and actually handpick billionaires to be in that complex.
Yeah, I mean they're pretty unreal, but they've always been included. So
Yeah.
I've never put a price point on anything.
Yeah,
I've always
okay.
just given a blanket of what's out there.
Yeah. Also, speaking of the median price, Eric and I went and saw that new Alihi cottages on Alihi Drive.
Yes,
And,
I checked those out too.
And those are going for about the median price of a home. So, it's a
Brand new home.
right? 3 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms and 4 bedrooms, right? And they're going for about 1.2, 1.3, right?
Yeah, right in there. You're
Yeah.
not going to get an ocean view with them.
Yeah.
They're brand new. They remind me a lot of the mainland. And I'm not saying that's good or bad.
Did you hear a little disdain in the voice, however?
I liked them. It was nice because it was new and it was modern. Well, one of them was a craftsman style, and
Yeah.
what's the other one?
Plantation.
Plantation style.
Yeah, we aren't making a lot of craftsmen here normally. I mean, that's definitely a European
I mean, there's
style.
barely a little bit difference in the trim. Would you even really call them two different?
You could, yeah.
Could you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what I liked about them,
But they're very subtle at the end of the day.
very subtle.
Talking different colors.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
if you guys, if we were watching like we're local and you want some design tips and some different ideas for wall color, I was impressed. In fact, right after that whole thing, I went out and I got myself a canister of turquoise, dark turquoise. Paint color, and I'm going to paint the back part of my bedroom with that color because it looks so good in that model home.
There we go.
And you guys, I'm
took
telling you,
videos of it.
Yeah,
right?
we did. Yeah, and you guys, it's so funny that we have so few model homes
Yeah.
Never.
I haven't been in a model home since
years.
2005, I think.
Yes.
So back when we had Kulani Estates and Lokahi Makai and Ali'i Cove, Kona Sea Ridge. I remember when we could actually walk into a model home.
Yeah, years, you guys, years.
Yeah.
That's why it's kind of fun. It's like,
Over a decade, okay?
Yeah,
let's say.
and so
I can
we're
almost
talking.
say decades,
So when we're
but-
talking about homes being built now, that's kind of the newest housing stock in Kona.
Yeah.
And we are hearing that they're building more housing in Waikoloa Village right now, and we hope to have our state housing director talk to us as realtors come up here in the next month and a half to find out what is on the books. We can tell you guys when we find out. But have you heard of anything else that might be building that might be coming up?
No, I don't. I just want to touch real quick on those cottages. I think I did like them a lot. They were smaller lots. They were like 4,000 square feet, I think it was.
Yeah.
They weren't zero lot line, but they were down to just a few feet on one side, which,
Yeah.
in all reality, I mean, why do you need 2 side yards?
To give you a lot line.
Well, you got a little bit of a lot line.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, at least you can concentrate on just this area of your yard. So I thought it was decent.
And the ones that we saw back right up to Ali'i Marketplace.
Yeah.
But at least they
Ali'i
had
Gardens.
fences. Well, yeah, Ali'i Gardens. They have
6-foot
decent- yeah,
fences,
decent fences.
up embankment.
so you kind of like a little privacy.
Yeah.
But I think that a lot of people who are living on the mainland right now are also seeing that new houses are coming with smaller and smaller lots, and that people are getting kind of closer together. So I think a lot of people who are thinking about moving to the Big Island right now are looking for space and privacy. We are getting a lot of phone calls from people who are looking for land, and they want to be able to just get some elbow room from some of the bigger, the complexes that are being created in the mainland. Because real estate is so expensive, builders really don't have no other choice but to build smaller homes on smaller properties.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then gone are the days of quarter-acre lots in most cities. So, but you still can get that here.
Well, it's interesting too because we go through phases, right? So you guys are getting the people that want land and stuff right now. My phase has been the people that don't want land. They're done. They're at a point in their life where they want to travel and not have a bunch of upkeep. They're done cutting the grass, shoveling snow, or doing whatever they may be doing. So that smaller lot is more attractive to them.
Yeah, I can see that.
But the bad thing about the Ali'i cottages, because this is a common thing that I get consistently, is I only want one level. I don't want stairs.
Oh, they have stairs.
Yeah, and so the one model had the primary suite downstairs.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was nice.
So,
yeah.
primary suite downstairs. That was
Yeah.
nice. And then the grandkids, your kids, whatever, go upstairs and sleep in their rooms. So that was, just wanted to touch on that. Real
In fact,
quick,
I don't know if people you get a phone call. I need a house like an age in place. I mean, there's the age in place housing concept where you have a single family home, a single level, right? And then the older you get, it's okay because you're not tripping and falling downstairs. You can renovate the bathrooms to have a little bit more help, right? You maybe have a place underneath the house that a caretaker can come into. So, we do have those houses. In fact, the neighborhood that we live in, you guys, has, you can park your car and you can walk right across the ramp and you're in your flat, and then underneath are ohanas. And that is almost how every single house on this whole block is built. So that's an opportunity too for you guys to have single family home living, but know that somebody can come in and help you below, or you can have a grandkid, or you can have your child, or whatever, like we're doing. But there's all different kinds of styles in Kona, and especially if you want these big beautiful views. So again, I love the houses in this neighborhood because they're older, so you don't pay top dollar. They're a single level, but they are older. So there's a level of having to put a little bit of money into.
And a big thing too, like you talked about how that you've got the stuff underneath, living area underneath, because the big difference about the Big Island, or especially the Kona side over the Hilo side, is that we're more on a mountain like this. So everything is in steps and levels. So you gain that view. That's a big plus about it. The big negative is I like to hit both sides of it. Some of the negative is
our driveway.
Yeah. But they want mom to live in the ohana, and the ohana's usually downstairs, and so mom can't live in the ohana because of the stairs sometimes. You've got can you drive down to yours?
Yeah,
Yeah, you can drive down to the
bottom.
Ohana.
Yeah.
So that's a hard one to find. Is where
You can just go right to the front
someone
door and you
elderly
walk
could.
right in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
But
makes
it's
it
the elderly person trying to figure out how to navigate themselves back up that driveway. So living on the volcano ain't easy, guys.
Yeah.
So in terms of what's happening, what Lance did was he had gone to D.C. And met with some of our national legislators, and you got a chance to also talk to people from around the country in terms of what is going on in terms of like how we're all impacted almost by the same issues with lack of housing being built and
Exactly the same issues. All 50 states, including Guam, and this. I'm not saying this as a joke or anything else, but we had people from Ukraine that were there last year, right after the beginning of the war broke out, and they were here. And there's actually people buying land in Ukraine, which I thought
There
was
is?
interesting. Yeah.
wow.
And we helped support some of the realtors there with some support and some money. Sometimes the whole the NAR, National Association of Realtors as a whole, has sent over aid money and things like that.
Fantastic.
Because
Wow.
it's a whole community of people that are all us. That's what realtors do. They take care of the communities. They help a lot of families. I know when we had the volcano here, I think they sent over a significant amount of money to the homeowners here.
Yeah.
So if it has to do with homeowners and things like that, they participate and support.
Yeah.
And so that was interesting.
That's great.
But yeah, the problems all across. It was interesting that the same problems are happening with short-term vacation rentals.
Oh.
I went to the Second Home and Resort Committee. I actually applied to get on that committee for next year at the national level. I won't know for a while if I get on there or not. I'm on the Safety Committee for the national level and a director at national level. So when we were talking to all the people and at the meetings on that Second Home and Resort, usually they'll have a speaker come in and they'll talk about things. And this year they said, we're going to pass around the mic to people to just give them a minute or two to talk about the issues that you're having in your area.
Oh, so everyone gets to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone's talking about
2 hours of short-term rental things
Discussion,
discussions going, hour and a half maybe. Of 95% of the discussion was about communities trying to ban short-term rentals, limit them, ban them, do all these things to it. So that was interesting. I didn't expect it to be that strong.
Yeah.
I knew there were some cities out there, but this was huge.
Yeah. Can I ask your personal opinion about that? Mm-hmm. Okay, so if somebody, because I talked to somebody who's helped trying to, like, my big idea is to create more Ohana units behind single-family homes so that we can provide housing for people who need it, younger people, people who work here, the whole thing. And the concept of if you build an ADU, someone's might use it for a vacation, short-term vacation rental. I mean, the whole Airbnb thing. Is it private property rights? Is it we have to watch what we do inside our neighborhoods because it does have an impact on everybody? So it's a societal issue. I mean, what was the what was the flavor for everybody?
You got the right to quiet enjoyment at your house, and I have the right, to use my house for the highest and best use, right? But it can't be a commercial use because you're in a residential neighborhood. So you got to be careful. I think that this is my personal opinion. I'm not supporting anybody or endorsing anybody, but my personal opinion is government should be able to step in and tell you who can sleep in one of your rooms in your house and how long they can sleep in there.
So you don't believe that's true? You do not.
I don't think the
should
government should not
okay.
be in there telling you how long you should do that.
Okay.
Do I believe that it would be fair for you to own 3 homes in this block and turn them all into rentals? I think that's horrible. That's a commercial business in a residential neighborhood.
Okay.
So, some of the problems that we were running into here, it wasn't about short-term rentals is where my support went for opposing the bill that they're coming out with. It was the fact that they told you that you couldn't move into your cottage if you had a family coming to stay for a month that wanted to stay in your house.
Oh, really?
You can't do that.
Oh.
That's what they want to do. So I don't think that that's right. I think, this is where it can get really controversial is, do you put deed restrictions on putting some of these things in? If you're in a residential neighborhood that doesn't allow ADUs, but you need to do something for your family, should the government bend the rules a little bit? Give you a permit to do an ADU with a deed restriction that it can't be a short-term rental? I think that's a fair balance. We have to balance things out.
Yeah, rules. Okay.
yeah.
I know. A lot of people don't like rules, and they don't like the government telling them what to do.
Right.
However, having some rules to protect the rights of everyone around you. I think it's a good idea, right?
Yeah.
And
We
have
have to
a
have
deed
some
restriction one too. Is that I've seen other communities do deed restrictions where they want you to offer the house to maybe certain people in the community, which I think also, basically, if you might get a tax benefit if you let a nurse or a first responder or a teacher live in your house. So they try and do it as an incentive based for your taxes,
Right.
to try and get you to maybe think about using somebody who might be somebody who's crucial to to the communities. Right now, what's crucial to our communities is people who run our grocery stores and Starbucks. It's becoming harder and harder to get any type of normal service nowadays because it's very expensive to live here. So we need to start thinking creative.
I've been doing a lot of flying because I'm back involved with the state board now, so I'm going back and forth to Honolulu, and more than once I've been on a plane with somebody from Costco that's flown out here every day that showed up to work at our Costco. So when you go into Costco and you walk in that store, they can't get enough employees to work there, that they're flying in people from Honolulu. Long's Drugs, same thing. I ran into somebody, Long's Drugs, that they were flying in because they can't get the help. So
Well, we just had a guy in the Conan Newbies group asking anyone if he could use their house to sleep in 2 to 3 days a week because he's flying in from Maui to work as a nurse at the community hospital.
yeah,
And so, and
that's
you know,
so
I
hard.
asked him, I go, what's your budget? $400. I'm like, $400 a week? So I don't even know how he's even going to find any housing for $400 a week to spend at somebody's house 3 days a week. If you are watching this and you would like to do that for somebody, please let me know. He's still looking. But yeah, it's
critical. I mean, we so at what point do we actually have to make some critical decisions? Because we are at a critical point. You and I were talking the other day. What was our conversation? We're going on to
Remember I said I go back in Silicon Valley, the whole thing was if we don't figure out how to fix our housing solutions, we're not going to have anyone to serve us coffee. And then you said that day is already
it's
here.
here. It's come. It's here. I mean, my credit union has shut down its doors. They just when I say they just built, but it's probably been 8 years ago or 5 years ago or something. But they built big, beautiful building out by Costco, and they've closed the front doors on it because they can't staff it enough.
Yeah.
There's been many businesses closed here in Kona just because of staffing issues.
Yeah, in fact, when we went up and did that video for Meridia, Chef Ulip says they have to close 2 days a week because they just can't get anyone to work in the kitchen and run the
Can't get
restaurant.
people working on the days off. Yeah.
So,
That's,
so I mean, can
it's
you
here.
imagine? You're on
It is here.
vacation 2 days out of the 5 days you're here. You can't get to go out to a restaurant. So, and again, everyone's going. I ask people, I'm like, how are we going to solve these housing problems in America? And I thought it was here and it's everywhere. It's almost like solving the homeless issue. Everyone shrugs and says it's a vexing issue.
Yeah. So the big thing. So what we were advocating for, I'll tell you real
Okay,
quick.
let's
So
hear it.
our big thing was government regulations is the biggest thing. So we've got homes that are still standing here from the 1940s and 1950s that are single wall construction that are sitting on rocks. They literally have their post and pier. They're not even on concrete. They're on flat rocks that have been put in the ground, and they're built and they're still standing. And this is what 70, 80 years ago.
Yep.
These homes are built. They're still here. They've overpriced, overregulated everything to what the average is across the United States is about $94,000 of government regulation costs to build a home. That's before you bought the dirt. That's before you bought the lumber, everything else. That money, it's $94,000. As they say, when you get out to the West Coast, like California, it's $200,000.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming, because they did not have the Hawaii numbers, I did ask, and they said you're probably close to what California's numbers are, and I can easily believe that because we've adapted most of their building codes.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's a huge, huge problem is
Yeah.
government regulations. They have to get off of it. They have to slow down. We survived all these years without all these, we're in Hawaii,
Yeah.
Do
Well, the one thing is, you could talk to this. We had somebody who wanted to look at buying a house, so they're coming in to look at this house, and they said, "Is there air conditioning?" And Eric had to say, "Well, it was built back in 1959. No, there's no back air conditioning. What was it going to take to get air conditioning? Well, if you have to get a permit, they're going to make sure that you can completely enclose your house so that way the air conditioning, when it's turned on, does not leak outside, and therefore it's energy efficient. However, to completely enclose a house in Hawaii, when 95% of us have louvered windows and we keep our windows open all the time,
Yeah.
it's like almost like that's the wrong legislation for an environment like Hawaii
Yes,
has.
exactly.
And I totally get the wanting to save the environment, and there's the rub too.
Yeah.
You want to do what's right for the environment, but you also have to say, oh my gosh, if you keep doing this, then obviously now we're stuck where we're stuck. You said it was going to take 10 years to unravel ourselves from this, right?
Yeah. And here's another thing, you talk about saving our environment and things like that. So, here's another big thing that they adapted from California was, snow load on roofs, because you've got Northern California. Do we need that much lumber in a roof in Hawaii to have it at these peaks so that the snow doesn't build up on it and things like that?
So our building codes are the same as theirs.
Very similar, yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Because if you guys drive around Hawaii, and if you usually see that most homes have corrugated metal roofs that are like slightly sloped, so that it goes down and they can catch their water and use it for farming.
Yeah. And you look at the pitch on roofs on any of the homes built in the last 10 or 15 years.
It's a
The
lot more
pitch of the
pitch.
roof has to be there. So not only now have you not become a friendly neighbor because you blocked your neighbor's view because you put this big pitch up in front of them, you've also created a lot more lumber that you're using, a lot more, everything.
Interesting. So all you guys who are thinking about building your houses, make sure that you use a local architect to not only know about these different building codes, but also to know what extra stuff is going to cost you too, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, there's stuff that you think you might want, and they might say, like this guy we were talking to, he tried to put in it was a carport, and he wanted to make it an actual enclosed garage, and then it went nuts. I mean, they wanted to put a firewall between the house and the garage, and it ended up costing like $100,000 to put a garage together because he wanted to enclose a carport.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll stop there.
So, the eruption, real quick. Do you think that?
Oh, wait, I got a quick question for you. Did you do something for the community recently?
Oh, yes. So the West Hawaii Association of Realtors, which I am the programs chairperson for, we decided to, for this year's service project, was to help our local homeowners. And so we had realtors nominate people that they felt were elderly or disabled or unable to do the landscaping around their house, basically. And had and there's houses like that it rains all the time. Landscaping can get out of control, especially when you have something that happened to you, like loss of a spouse. So we had a couple realtors nominate people that they had sold a home to, and both of them were women who were widows who had recently been, something had happened where one woman had a stroke and the other one had a heart attack and lost part of her eyesight. And both of them have big lots, and their landscaping had basically gotten out of control. So I gathered a bunch of volunteers, and we went to both of these women's houses, one last Saturday and one this last Monday. And we went in there with a crew, and it wasn't just like we were mowing the lawn, you guys. We were dug deep inside
I
there.
saw some of the pictures.
Yeah, we had to dig deep to get dead trees out and to clear. In fact, one of the projects that we did, we said we were going to do so much, and then we got down to the bottom of her landscape line, and the older gentleman who lived next door to her across the way said, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And we're doing the landscaping. He said, this whole fence line has been crawling with out of control vines, and please, if you guys can help me, I really want to have this cleared off. So they went right in, and they pulled all the vines off, cleared it all out of there, and he was almost in tears. He said, "I've had this there and watch this since her husband had died 5 years prior. It got out of control, and she couldn't deal with it. And so we not only changed her life, we also made his life a little bit better. And both these women were in tears that we actually helped them, and so it was a really nice way to give back.
It's amazing. Thank you for what you guys do. Thank you.
Well, and with the
That's awesome.
association, when they get together, they do amazing things in our community.
Yeah.
So it's nice to work with good people. So there we
Awesome.
go. Okay.
That is cool. Very cool. I want to make sure. I wish I would have asked that the very first thing.
I know. Well, that's cool.
That's
We'll put that in the front in the YouTube experience. No, I'm kidding. Eric, do we have any questions from the peanut gallery over here?
Our
This is where you
favorite
guys
friend,
can have
Brad
your-
hasn't.
Brad has been chiming in a little bit. Let me just
Brad
see.
hasn't.
Give
Lance
Brad
Bond is watching, right?
Lance.
Hey, Lance.
And Lance
Is he watching
says-
from Hawaii or from the
No,
mainland?
not yet. He's still on the
He comes in on I think August 8th. He's gonna be here permanently.
And he says aloha is what he says. And then he's talking to Lance Bond. And Brad says, great job, Julie, with the helping the homeowners out.
The community.
It's
Yeah,
good.
that's awesome.
What's it called? It's called neighbors.
Good
Realtors
neighbors.
are good
neighbor.
neighbors.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's good.
On top of that.
Okay. And what else did we have something else that we were going to hit today? Oh yeah. The VOG.
The fog and you guys were
volcano.
talking about the volcano and how it affects real estate.
So Brad said, use the view. What's your secret weapon on the west
Oh, yes,
side?
sir.
It's gone. We've lost. There is no secret weapon.
A secret weapon. I love it. I love it. Our sunsets. You know what though? I'll tell you. Sometimes with the fog, the sunsets are still spectacular.
Yes. Yeah.
So we get a lot of red, crazy purple, like haze colored across the whole ocean. So if we take some really cool, you take some really great sunset shots. You should drop some of those sunset shots inside the group. On
Okay.
Facebook
Okay.
Too.
Did you see one I did last night? It kind of. The last week, and I've deleted them because I usually don't leave those videos up. It's just for the moment type thing, right?
Yeah.
And but I did one of the sunset like 3 days ago. I deleted it, and then the volcano went off, and it was a movie. I was like, oh. And I was sitting there doing dishes last night, and so I turned on my camera, and I said, so you guys remember the view from the other day? And you can't even see the ocean from my house anymore.
Just
but it's still
really?
beautiful. It's just all orange and...
Orange like Manhattan.
Exactly.
Orange like DC.
Exactly.
Those poor people.
It was trippy because I was in New York. I was in Times Square. We stayed at the Hyatt Times Square.
Uh-huh.
And so to be just left there a couple of weeks ago, it was weird to see that apocalypse look that's there
Yeah.
now. I sent that to my kid because he flew up and met me.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah.
dude, this is
This is what
Times
happens
Square.
when Canada's burning.
Yeah.
So that's just it. So at least you guys, when you're in forest fire situations, the VOG, it doesn't have that same. It doesn't smell like forest fire.
Right.
It just has a kind of like a, I guess kind of like just a kind of a hazy.
It's just a hazy. Some people said it bothers their eyes. Some people it bothers their lungs. People in New York are all running around with masks on.
I know at least we're not wearing
doing that.
95 NAS. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
right.
what's kind of interesting though lately about Kilauea is that she's been going on and off.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll tell you guys, when she was going on for a very long time, I was always going like, when are we ever going to get blue skies? And then every now and then the wind would blow and we get these beautiful blue skies, and you drop everything you're doing, you run out because it's beautiful. This on and off experience, whenever I start taking it all for granted a little too much, Kilauea blows. And then I'm like, oh, damn, I should have gone outside more often. And I will next time.
You know what I laugh at, because when I go to the mainland and I see family members and stuff, it's like they're really intense on the summer, right? It's like you got to get out. There's barbecues and everything every weekend. And here, we've said this before, we kind of, we can do it next weekend. We can do it next
Yeah,
weekend.
because it's summer all the
It'll be-
time.
Well, this is almost like we're getting the seasons now
Yeah.
because it's coming and going. It's like, wait a minute, we got a view. Let's go out there and let's
Yeah,
take
yeah,
advantage
yeah,
of it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
So that's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Well, we never know. Maybe in a couple weeks there'll be a different story. That's one thing about Hawaii.
Yeah.
It's always changing.
Tomorrow we wake up and we're going.
Well,
I've missed the last two volcanoes, seeing them.
oh yeah,
I was in Philadelphia when the one went off in December.
yeah, in Mauna. Did you miss the entire experience?
Yeah. Well, okay, I got back. Kimmy and I drove up there 2 or 3 days after I got back.
Yeah.
And drove up there, and it was so sucked in, you couldn't even see the glow.
Oh,
And it was still going.
Yeah.
We parked there for 4 hours.
And it
We didn't even
never-
know which way to look.
oh.
You go on that side road, right? The
Yeah,
day it opened
yeah,
up.
yeah.
I'm going on that. I'm like, I don't even know which way to look. And there's like hundreds of people out there, and none of them know which way to look because it's
You can't
not
see.
even. It was that socked in that you couldn't even see it. And I think off that road we were within a couple of miles of it.
Yeah, you were within 2 miles of it. Yeah, yeah.
And we
Looking
couldn't
straight
see.
up.
So I after that I went home, and then it slowed down,
And then stopped.
and it stopped, and then the next one up at the crater went off, and I kept saying, I'll go next weekend.
Then it goes
That's it.
away. Oh no,
I've
that's not.
seen it a lot of times, so it's not. It's
Everyone's different. Eric and
Yeah.
I love it. In fact,
Yeah.
the volcano this week, the lava lake has now risen 1,000 feet up from when it had gone in 2018. So
Uh-huh.
now it's near the top, and it's going to spill over onto the entire floor of the caldera, which has not happened.
That's
Like
the first,
In a
first
while.
step. There's still
the
one
first step. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not the whole floor, the bottom floor.
Yeah, but it's pretty high. So a little tourist 365 experience for you guys. If you are coming in the next, I say this will get this eruption at least for another month. That's just Kilauea usually lasts at least that long. Get down there because you can see the lava from almost every vantage point of the upper caldera area. So we were at Volcano House this morning, and you can look right out in the morning and see live lava right there in the middle of the lake. You didn't have to go up and try and find and dig down in there. And at night it is just
amazing.
beautiful.
Got to do it.
yeah.
Okay.
And so there you go. That's why we pay the big
I'm gonna
bucks
do
to live
it.
in Hawaii. So yeah. So we are going to have Lance again next Thursday when we
next
do
Thursday?
our TTT, which is our all island real estate update. If you guys have more questions, bring them then. It's a Zoom call, so if you want to be on a live Zoom call with our mortgage partners, Marla and Scott Wynn, and our other realtors from around the island, join our Ohana, and we will make sure that you get on our email distribution list where you'll get the Zoom link, or send me an email at julie@ziemelis.com, and I'll make sure that you get in the email distribution list so you get that notification. And also we have our YouTube channel where all the stuff is being posted at 365 Hawaii Minute, right? 365 Hawaii Real Estate Minute. And also keep an eye out too that Eric just released the new video on 365 Hawaii about our whole Kilauea experience.
He hasn't even been to sleep yet, huh?
I know. We just went boom. We produced that video. And then also one thing too, if you love Big Island and you want to see something really cool, we also went to all the farmers markets last weekend, and you guys get a chance to see. We have 7 farmers markets, and I think we went to 6 of them. So it's a longer video, it's 30 minutes, but it tells you all the cool stuff, which gives you the lifestyle of this island, which I think is important if you're thinking about buying a home here. So with that, we guess we will say aloha, and we'll see you guys soon. Yeah.
Aloha.